Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? This is SCL0320 representing JVS, representing MI5 007 James Bond Spectre. So the 2015 version is a direct sequel to Skyfall. This is a spoiler-filled review, so if you do not want to be spoiled, please don't watch. Just don't do it. I'm giving you forewarning right now. First thing I open my mouth is I'm just gonna go piece for piece for piece on those specific moments that I feel are spoiler worthy for me to bring up. So, first off, Dave Bautista, Christoph Waltz. Dave Bautista is Hinks. It was not a surprise there. Even IMDb even says it. Does he play a great Hinks? Yes. Like freaking like. Their fight sequence on that train was one of the better Bond fights that I've seen because Bond couldn't beat him. Like, he literally almost died. Like, the man, he was beating the brakes off of James. Like, I mean, James was doing his thing and he was holding his own as best he could. And even what was the funny thing was the build-off is like when you first see Hinks come up and he's kind of making his way into this syndicate or this Spectrum group. He basically gouges the guy's eyes out, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's the way you feel, man? And he just goes on the pursuit of Bond ever since then to prove himself, I think. The thing that I didn't like is the fact that they don't reestablish or reaffirm that Christoph Waltz's character is sending him to do these things, as well as in the beginning, like James Bond kills this guy that M, the old M, left a tape for him to go and do, and he kills him, and like he has this widow or whatever, and like it's like Mrs. What is her name? Oh my gosh, I forget her name. She's in everything. Monica Bellucci. And I mean, it seems like okay, yeah, she might know some stuff, you know, and he gets his information out of her, kind of. They kind of proceed to go and have sex and all this kind of stuff. Then after that is it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can figure the first opening sequence when you had him at the Day of the Dead event in New Mexico, and he's got this like mask on and like the skeleton thing. I thought that was dope. I thought it was so cool. Even like the beginning titles, I thought were freaking awesome. You know, but it was like after that she doesn't exist, and I mean that's one of the things that the old movies used to do, but the new movies didn't. Every person that was in the movies or of some kind of significance because they played into the story arc, and this one didn't. Like that was it. Like no connection to Christoph Waltz's character, no connection to something that's gonna further him. She's not a villain. It just fell off, and I didn't like that. But the second thing, Christoph Waltz is of course Dr. No, Mr. No. So. How it all goes full circle, though, is that you find out that his character, his dad, was the one that kind of took James in after what happened to his parents. And Christoph Waltz, in Christoph Waltz fashion, in his most scariest fashion, is basically has James strapped down. And he's proceeding to drill holes into not just his brain, but different parts of his body. And removing certain things supposedly from him on a psychological level. Like for instance, like he drills this point right here that no matter what his like peripheral vision can see, every girl will look the same. And they don't reaffirm if that's true or not. It just is a really scary scene. I mean, like every sequence that he's in with James, you can tell there's a real disgust there. There's a real feeling that like, I mean, this is a scary guy, you know, like even like his crew that he had, I mean, these dudes rode deep. I was like, how is James really supposed to beat this guy? Like, you don't even see faces of these people. And that's the thing, like the first half, the second half, they're rode deep. Then all of a sudden, like James just happens to blow up the facility that kills, I don't know how many of them. And then like towards the middle half, like you find out that Christoph Waltz's eye is jacked up and like he's kind of like got the girl, and it's like, where are your troops? Where are the guys that you have rolling with you? You know, and that's the thing I didn't like, because it was like, if this was the same series that we've seen, especially looking at Skyfall, he would have had so many people with him that James would not even be able to get to the girl. Like, he would have to fight through people before the building that was basically about to come down, because basically he gave him options like either you try to save yourself or you save the girl and die doing that. You know, and like you find out that Christoph Waltz's character, as far as what the story is concerned, he was responsible for all the different women that James has lost, as well as putting all these different men that James has had to stop. And like including Harbardem, like the chief, all the different villains, like he's the one that's had his hands in all of it. And I mean, to that, like I said, like when I was talking about with Dr. No's dad taking care of James, they're basically like brothers, but he despised him because his dad favored him and kind of spurned him, and because he spurned like him, like, and praised James, he decided to kill his dad. And I was like, that is good, you know, storytelling. That's awesome. You know, I could see the real rivalry going on. I could see the real need to make this man suffer, and I could see where your psychotic break happened. But as far as the payoff in the end, it just didn't go anywhere. Like, I mean, one thing I'll say is that James didn't kill him. That was surprising to me. Like, I mean, but it's like, other than that, it didn't really go anywhere, and it didn't have as much impact as it could have. What other spoilers? So the girl that James is protecting was the daughter of Mr. White, and I mean, you find out that like she's got some training. She's supposed to be a lot more cunning than her dad and stuff like that, but her dad killed himself, and you don't find out until later on when Christoph Waltz's character reveals to both of them that he would have them on surveillance. So basically, James gave him an option: either you kill yourself and tell me what happened, or what, you know. And it was interesting dynamics that were going on there, because basically she didn't really love her dad, but she found out that he loved her, and like basically he needed to maintain focus with looking at Bond instead of looking at the camera, because it would basically turn her against him. And it was just like some things that she did towards the end is just like kind of her leaving, all cliche like, just to get captured. And even like with M and Naomi Watts' character, just all of them trying to help Bond, but then they couldn't. It just felt all really consolidated and like nostalgic, but yet cliche. And I didn't like the last half of the movie because of that. Did I give it a decent rating? Yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10 or a 7.5. It's not a bad movie. The action sequences are awesome, especially that helicopter scene. That scene was just dope. But as far as it being on Skyfall level, I don't think it was. But I think that people are going to give it a higher rating because of the nostalgic feel. And I think the more I look at it, if I look at it from a brand standpoint, looking at how it tied everything over, how it had a nostalgic feel, it probably in my eyes would be a lot better. But anyway, without further ado, this is my conclusion to my spoiler review for Spectre. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Leave your comments below of anything else more you want me to bring up as far as spoiler field, or what you thought about the movie after you've watched it. But thanks everybody for watching. This is SCL0320 representing JVS. Deuces everybody. Have a blessed night. Joe, how's Arrow, bro?
It was great.